So, I hinted at it in the video game stream. I figure I should go ahead and just drop it. Well, now, I am heading to the lawyer's office to hopefully, fingers crossed, they weren't real specific, and I can't really be real specific like legal matters, but they were big on I might be signing the paperwork of my family's piece of property and house, and then hopefully in the next month getting payment for it. I doubt it, considering, big electric bill, and if I get stuck with the housing damage due to the crackhead there, I probably ain't making no money from it, but still business must be done. So because of that, I figured it, and sadly my headphones are deciding to be assholes today. I had them charging until after the sun rose. That way, we could do the proper walk into town. Oh, what's going on, you ask? Why did that look like that? Because that's where we don't have a sidewalk, but that's where we walk. If you want to get into town, Grandma, you better have some parkour skills, huh? Woo! But, like I said, moving on forward. Don't worry, they'll dig a bigger trench here soon. That way it's harder to walk. Because again, y'all, maybe I'm being the edgy one here, the edgy boy that don't know what's going on. But it feels an awful lot like the system is built against the poor. Not like to ignore them like in the 1930s and 40s where we just, pushed poor people to the outskirts and pretend like they didn't exist. No, but like to actively combat them. Because again, according to Google Maps, this is going to be a 2-hour walk. I'm calling bullshit because my work isn't even a quarter of the way there, and that's a 2-hour walk. But it said on Google Maps, 2-hour walk down this route, and I'll be in Cartersville proper at the courthouse. Sorry, y'all, again, I don't really want you to see my lawyer's office because, privacy and stuff. But, I want you to see what we got to walk through. Now, that I got no problems with. That is some invasive species, but mostly wild Georgia prairie. Honestly, I wouldn't mind walking through that on the way in, rather than all these invasive species that'll eventually crop out the sun. But that's actually deep enough and wild enough that that's where your deer are at. If you want to find the possums, the deer, the armadillos, and all those things during the day, that's where they be. That and in the deeper woods, which unfortunately are rapidly disappearing because, and can you see it? They want us to have a bunch of little soapbox houses that all look the same, but match together in a Technicolor 1984 dream world. Don't you want to be the same and get on the company clock? As I said, y'all, a bit of a doomer here, but we do our best. Hello, Do. How you doing today? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm kind of having to keep the screen as it is because my headset took a crap right now. Oh, we saw a mouse. I didn't get to show you my little friend, but there's a field mouse ran into the tall grass. He was a little chubby fella, clearly throwing out the biscuits and the cucumbers and the tomatoes and lettuce and all the other chopped bits from work have been doing their part for the environment. That's nice. On the way back, I'll try to pick up a little bit of trash. Best vow I can do is I'm not going to make any of the trash. But yeah, we will be walking into Georgia proper, into Cartersville proper, I should say, from U Harley, through U Harley Road to Main Street. And as a special treat, I don't know if it'll be open or not today. I'm hoping they are, and I'll take pictures inside unless they give me otherwise permission. But I'll show y'all our local and lovely library. Forget-me-not couldn't show up today. Y'all get it, work shit, Sadly, we all work for the godless, soulless corporations. And to them, what is our time off but inconvenient? So she got to go in and clean up messes from her coworkers that didn't do the job they were supposed to. And my ride fell through more or less because of it. Let's not be too angry. We'll survive. We're young enough. What I want you, dear viewers, all three of you to picture is instead of me, a strapping 37-something, who's been making these hikes most of my life because I live in the devil's taint, that is Georgia, picture a grandma. Picture someone with worse knees than me trying to make this walk. Because right now we're getting to see the happy side. This is the good side. The sun hasn't quite risen above the cloud and tree line yet. It's about 81 degrees right now. Humidity's not that bad. I'm not that sweaty. And right now I have enough space to safely walk next to everybody. See, hello, Mr. Pavement Princess Truck. How are you doing today, Chevy? There's enough space that I feel fairly safe. Give it a few minutes, and we're gonna have to cross to that side of the road because this side of the road has zero space. But it's okay. Eventually, the 1984 apartments will move over to sidewalk. Oh, I wish this thing had a better zoom. That was a red tail, I believe. We still have a few left around here, but not many. Most of the raptor populations, I should say. Oh, good, I don't have to yell anymore. No more cars for the second. And also, when I was a kid, not that y'all should do it, kids, because you'll get hurt. But yeah, that right there would be a ramp. Me and my friends would clear out some space behind that and we would jump that stuff. Y'all, there's a reason my knee's already screaming and the walk's just begun. We did dumb things. Don't be dumb, kids. You're gonna be here a while. And you only get one set, and if you're in America, by cracky, you better take care of that one set because your government sure as shit ain't. But yeah, believe it or not, this looked like that over there not but 3 months ago. Isn't it an improvement, y'all? Don't you just feel the warm fuzzies knowing that we had a forest as tiny as it was, made up of a mixture of like native trees as well as non-natives? And now we get a nice big empty heat sink that will slowly make this particular area a minimum of 2 to 3 degrees hotter than just down the road where they'll have more shade. But again, they don't care about the people living in their little roach motels. They care about the profits those little roach motels can generate. Which if you played the Monopoly game on your phone, just picture it. Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Those houses are $300,000 to move into. $300,000. $300,000, and what do you get? You more or less get a barn. A barn that was thrown together in less than a month by contractors and construction workers who did not do a labor of love for their city, but did the bare minimum of the job in back-breaking heat and conditions to make their pay. So we can already rule out well-built. It's got the very famous paper-thin American walls, where if I'm standing in the living room of one of the little Roach Motel square houses, and I scream as loud as I'm able, not that I'm going to do that to you good people, but if I did that, I'm sure 3 more houses would hear me fully. Just saying, y'all, if we built it right, we wouldn't have to rebuild it every time a storm hits. If we built it right, we wouldn't have to fear tornadoes. That being said, we don't have a local shelter here, so when the big one comes through, because we basically leveled out all of our natural infrastructure to help push tornadoes away, we've leveled out all the big hills and ravines and valleys to make, well, space for people to throw their lunchable trash and to put up tiny little $600,000, $300,000 houses. Because I believe the tiny one in the middle, the little bitty roof in the dead center, that one is around $300,000. The tall boys next to it, well, that's probably around $600,000 to $800,000. And again, if you were moving into a makeshift neighborhood with found family and good people, like what I had mentioned on the previous stream with Danny Street from Doom Patrol, that'd be different. I still couldn't afford $300,000 fucking rent, but you know, I'd be more apt to do it. But what are you buying there? You're buying neighbors that are going to rat you out to the HOA, so hopefully they can get a little bitty boost in their rent pay. You're getting loud ass entitled children who, again, because their parents don't raise them, the tablets raise them. So they're being raised by Jeff Bezos and Coco Melon. You get nothing that seems like it's worth $300,000. Or as a society, we can put down our phones and tablets. No, not the one you're watching me on, friend. Keep that one up for a minute. We can put down our phones and tablets, turn to our neighbors, and start talking to them. And if they're Trump supporters, start shaming them. Because like I said, think about it. Joey's Acres, they're killing 96.3 acres. Oh, sorry, 9.63 acres. Not quite 96. It's not that detrimental. It's important to get your facts right. Am I right? But they're killing that so they can put up poorly built houses that are going to be sold at luxury prices to people who, like me, can't fucking afford those luxury prices. People like me would prefer, hell, personally, I'd prefer if they had put in a few fucking natural living places, like campgrounds that are well maintained with a washroom and a common area, but you more or less either live in a camper and or tent set. I wouldn't mind that one little bit. Why? Because you wouldn't have garbage like this. Whoa, what happened? Galway. I'll tell you what happened. One of these assholes driving threw out a bag of trash by choice or by accident, and it hit the ground. Because our state uses slave labor to clean its roads, meaning they bring inmates out here and give them about a half a penny a day, well, half a penny an hour, to burn themselves up in the sun collecting garbage, our inmates did not collect all the garbage properly. Damn them, they will be flogged. But maybe hire people. Get people that want to help out. Label them under the forestry division and put them to work. Hell, I can guarantee you, if you gave me a whole team of goddamn Zoomers with their phones and the apps, I got to run across the road real quick so we don't get hit. But if you gave me a whole, now we're in the rich people shit now. This all belongs to one rich landowner who manages to sit on all this land, rent out cabins back there, and basically do a car show about twice a year. They're super duper high end. And again, it's a super duper giant heat sink in this area. And it's basically death to any animal that walks out there, because it's like, as a bird, you're walking out with any falcon that's in any tree being able to see you. As a deer, coyotes and or hunters, because lots of hillbillies shoot from the truck. This is a dead area. It don't look it. You can see the trees. It looks alive. But all that is just English tuft grass. It'll grow up to be feed for some of our food, but mostly just filler for other things. And in place of, tents for the homeless, tiny houses to house the unhoused or help people, they vote for the much more economical, much more user-friendly option of empty. Hell, they don't even let it go to seed with native grass. They keep it nice and mowed for their once or twice a year car show. That I can say as a food worker, bangs the shit out of our bank, so I'm sure it helps them. Well, I should say our boss's bank. This is also your local PSA to remind you, the fast food workers in your establishment, we don't set the goddamn prices. We can't set the goddamn prices. Or I would set them to a low livable wage. But we don't set the prices. Our rich jackass bosses that don't think of y'all as anything more than pigs eating slop, they set the prices. And since the higher ups decided you piggies can pay it, they're deciding you piggies are going to pay for your slop and extra. Get mad about it. Boycott them. Learn how to cook for yourself. Hello. 1 second. Hello, HA3AP. Hop up. Hello. I don't know if I said that right. I doubt I did. I'm sorry. But I hope you're doing well. Currently, I'm walking from U Harley, my little neck of the woods, to Cartersville proper. I'm giving little critiques of the ultra-rich douchebags who moved in around me and, you know, basically killed the community. Because again, when you buy all of this, how can anyone else move in? How can anyone else do anything else? You're just sitting on and killing the land. Because again, if this was a nature reserve, lots of Georgia trees being grown, lots of Georgia natural grasses growing across it, maybe a sanctuary for a variety of endangered species in our state. Ah, that explains it. Well, I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I feel bad about your leader. I think your leader's about the only one as hated as ours. Good luck out there. But thing is, with all this land, they could be doing something to help out. I mean, even in a tiny way, because, ooh, look. Can you see him? I don't want to get no closer because I don't want to bother him. Groundhog. Groundhog. Itty bitty friend groundhog. And itty bitty friend is gone. Those friends are the, can I readjust it? Are you going to be looking at my nose? Oh, good, it readjusted. I was afraid you were about to be like right up there on my eyeball or something. I feed those little fellas. I hope they keep well. I hope they destroy the rich bastards' properties. Because I also feed them with native Georgia seeds when I can. Why? Because as they carry the lettuce and the tomatoes and the cucumbers and whatever else I can get for them, and the biscuits back into their burrows for storage and feed, they plant little Georgia native seeds along the way. I'm hoping eventually, and that's also why we're going to be stopping in the library, if they're open, to pick up a book on native Georgia wildlife, to try to, again, fight the spread as much as we can. Because, again, these rich fucks don't give a shit about the state. They care about the state about as much as they care about their grandma that just got her Medicaid canceled. That is, they don't. It's up to us, the little fellas, the folks that are walking around because, you know, me just driving in, one, would be an incredible waste of money and going to an evil corporation like the insurance company. Hey, y'all, did you know Allstate paid and helped pay for the gas to help keep the gas organizations and keep global warming and climate change on the DL? They also are known and very famous for pulling out insurance right before the Texas floods, right before the California wildfires, and right before Hurricane Katrina. Friends, I have a question. What good is your insurance if they get to pull out right before an incident happens, but can drag you kicking and screaming to court if you don't pay them? That doesn't feel like a service. And it certainly doesn't sound like a good neighbor there, State Farm. It most certainly does not. I'd say what a good neighbor would be doing would be helping out their neighbors, especially right now in need, like in Texas. Because again, I'm not a fan of Texas. Personally, I think they voted very stupidly in the last election and got us fucked, like they do every time. But that being said, just because we mad at our brothers and sisters don't mean we want them hurt. And what happened in Texas, if it were a Democrat, y'all would be calling for him to be lynched, guillotined. Viva la revolution. But because it's your fat, fappy fascist, suddenly it's, well, I'm sure it was a mistake. I'm sure the evil fucker whose literally only goal is to make money did it for a reason and wasn't just for the evil goal of more. By the way, we're still walking past douchebag's property. We started back there before the tree line. We passed the second gate. And again, I've lived here for, give or take, because I got out of this hellscape for a little bit, got pulled back due to family needing me. Don't do that, folks. It was the greatest regret of my life. I met David, which I'm happy for, but I lost a strong paying, lucrative job that would have possibly eventually gone union. I missed out on a lot, and I ended up basically stranded in Georgia, where unfortunately all my plans for community work go out the window because most of these dipshits only want to get their pick-em-up truck to the local hootenanny. My God, that was fun, but not accurate at all. None of these people do anything more than work, sleep, die, work, sleep, die, work, sleep, die. That's all we do. For the higher ups, like these folks, to own giant fields and give us one cookie a year where a bunch of hardworking motherfuckers, most of them old folks, drag out their Model Ts and their other things that are from ancient times past and drag them out here on other trailers with other trucks dragging them because the cars can't drive anymore, and putting them on that yard to show off what they can build. And hell, I like Legos. I'm not going to knock a folk for their hobbies. My thing is why is the hobby buy-in for that like $10,000? And that's if you're wanting something cheap and easy and not at all like going to impress anybody. That's for you. And that's my big problem here is everything's buy-in now. Nothing is ever just, hey brother, hey neighbor, let's go do something. And there are community things, but it's like, let's be clear folks, by the time this walk is over, I will have, if I can succeed, gone to our public library in Cartersville, the main branch, to pick up a book on ecology, and gone by my lawyer's office. Y'all won't see that part, but I'll pick up afterwards from the library to basically get some matters resolved. Because again, house that was left to me at my family's death, well, the crackheads in the family want their claim of it so they can go buy more crack. And I really wanted it to be made into a community garden. As the story often goes in our shithole country, decisions were split and it wound up being, well, we'll just split it, pay both of you, and fuck off. It sucks, but that's how our country runs. I would say there's two kinds of justice systems, but you know, if you can get justice, if you're poor, well, you can get fucked. That's exactly how they feel about us, and if you think differently, feel free to put in the doobly-doo where you can show any kind of difference. Because, for example, my crackhead uncle, when I was still trying to live in the house and repair it best I could, was coming in and ripping piping out. He was messing with electrical work, like ripping the sockets out of the walls. And each and every time I filed a police report. To the extent that when he went to try to get off probation and the lady called me to say, hey, the man that attacked you in your home is about to get off probation. Do you want to show up at court or make a statement? I was like, well, technically, if someone's on probation and they commit a crime, that takes away their probation, right? Even if it's a minor violation. Well, yeah. Okay, well, I have this report and 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 this report. Oh, give me a second. I need to get a pen and paper. Oh, I get it. Give me a minute. I got like 7 more. And after 14 reports, I can tell you, judging from his haggard life and him in court, he did not, in fact, get off probation. I'm happy about it. We're crossing over to the more dangerous side of the road because, unfortunately, it is less dangerous on this side than in the brush. Because, according to Walking Digest, that was a publication I made up, according to the Google and the driver's manual here in Georgia, they suggest pedestrians walk into traffic like this, not literally into traffic, but like this, because they're hoping that if the other driver sees you and sees your face, they won't hit you like an animal and leave you dead on the side of the road. As a pedestrian, a committed pedestrian for over 5 years now, I can tell you that is in fact not true, because the only car that ever hit me did indeed hit me while I was following all traffic rules. I was about out to this area of the road that evening, and he literally ran me down and ran off. Like, the only reason we got his ass was because when he hit me, my shoulder and arm took his mirror off on his passenger side, and his drunk ass T-boned another car down the road. That was the only reason I got any kind of recompense. Otherwise, my state would have just said, oh, buddy, that sucks. Hey, do you have $20,000 for this medical debt? Thanks, pal. And that's kind of my problem with our entire system, is how incredibly predatory it is. Because again, did I have the chance to say, nah, I just want the person to take a DUI course to understand that DUI is never an excuse and you should never ever do it, because there is always a way around DUI. Did I get that? Nah. That dude might still be in jail, unfortunately. Meanwhile, my crackhead uncle who punched me in the face multiple times, destroyed a house, basically cheated the court system and got away with it so far, and has basically been a burden on society his entire life. Well, he's got a business running great through the church now, driving folks around like a little Uber, except Uber, you don't get paid for shit. The CEOs take all that. And his Good Wings riding service, whatever the fuck he calls himself, he gets to keep all the proceeds. And bet your bonnet there are plenty of proceeds coming from it. Because if the people he picks up for work don't pay him, as they normally will, he then gets money from the church because they compensate him for each ride. And if you don't think he's cooking those books, well, friend, you don't know the American way. Cooking books is the only way we work around here. Shit, if you ain't cheating, the government thinks you're being suspicious. Honestly, it's kind of a problem, but nobody's ever going to do nothing about it, so fuck it, you know? It's sort of like how in America, I can't give you a tonic and say, here, this magical elixir I found will cure cancer. But I can slap a warning label on it saying, hey, don't drink this, it's arsenic. Give you the same bottle and say, hey, this magical formula will cure cancer. Don't drink it, though. And when you drink it, nobody can sue me. You signed a contract. Ha-ha, mine. And I said, it's like as a country, we need to agree. Are we going to be against scamming, or are we just going to be a scam country? Because, I mean, in the 90s and early 2000s, it was always, oh, this Nigerian prince needs your help. Nowadays, it seems like it's much more, hey, this fascist dictator needs your help, but he'll give you Bitcoin. He'll even regulate Bitcoin, so your garbage coin is worth something. For about 5 minutes, sell it quick. Oh, but don't worry, you can't focus on that because, you know, we're helping Netanyahu run a genocide in the Middle East with literal Hunger Games, where children and parents are running across portions of the desert that have been marked off as dangerous to get small bags of food. And while they're doing that, the IDF snipers are taking pot shots at them. And you and I, fellow Americans, are paying for that. Don't you feel proud to be an American, where at least you know you're crippling some Middle Eastern child rather than doing a goddamn thing to help your own country at all? Nah, we're just real good at destroying other places. By the way, if any of my viewers would like to change the topic, feel free to drop something in the chat. I'll chat about anything. But the main thing I know a lot about is, you know, how our country is literally the taint upon the world. How if America fell after the initial shock waves throughout the world, it would be a benefit and a boon to the world. But that's just me noticing, you know, we don't even take care of our own. At least some of the more evil organizations from the past did what they could to take care of their own. We don't even do that, y'all. Not that that would be an excuse if they did. For the record, fascism is always wrong. And unfortunately, kids, fascism is always the end stage of capitalism. Because your workers will always need more when you keep upping the prices but refusing to pay them. Again, America doesn't have a housing crisis. Christ's sake, y'all saw it in the last fucking place we walked past. Of those 200-300 homes, there's probably 4 or 5 of them occupied right now. Most of them are empty, just gathering parasitic organisms, dust, and various other, like, critters. Rats, possums, raccoons, deer, coyotes, anything else that'll move into vacant human spaces. And they're getting those while families sleep in a fucking Jeep. While families crash out in dad's old fucking Camaro. But they got 1984 style bullshit houses being popped up everywhere. No community areas, no safe spots for kids or youth, no safe spots for women or men that just, you know, need a place to go. Nope, pop-up houses. Oh, surely you can afford $600,000. If you can't afford $600,000, why are you even here? Go kill yourself, man. What's the point? Don't literally do that, y'all. Your lives are precious. and I would argue more important than our corporate overlords' lives. I'm just telling you how it is and how they seem to view it. Because all the information's there, y'all. You gotta climb up to avoid the snakes. But climbing up might mean I get hit in the face. By a what? By a truck. Yeah, y'all trying to pull funny ha-has from the road. Because again, Jesus saves, but capitalism wins. And this used to be a pleasant walk into town even without a sidewalk. But at this point, if they're going to rape and pillage the landscape and the land around us, well, boy, howdy, it'd be nice if they'd at least give the people who have to look past all this dog shit a sidewalk so we can walk easily and safely through. Again, unpopular opinion, I guess. By all means, they should spend more tax dollars bombing the fucking Middle East. That's a good use of it. It's not like we're dealing with a big ecological collapse across America and soon to be an economic collapse on top of that ecological collapse. Because wait, y'all see that? That one is a prairie plant. And I believe that particular prairie plant is in fact native to Georgia. That one and like two others. The rest of this shit is mostly just European turf. Why? Well, that's what I'm about to show you, friends. Because back behind that tiny little wood line that's not but maybe 10 feet thick, there is a sod farm. A sod farm that stretches for miles. And for the record, if the sod farm company, corporation, gave two tiddly fucks about the people of Cartersville and you Harley, they could easily make a walking path through there that would connect one side of Cartersville to the other. Meaning that a bum like me, from the bad side of the bridge in New Harley, could actually attend the town meetings, the food truck days, the farmers markets, the movie nights, the haunted trails, and all the beneficial bullshit that comes from living in Little U Harley. Sadly, they put all that fun stuff behind a bridge that you are not allowed to cross as a pedestrian, and in order to cross that bridge, you must be in a vehicle. You see, here's my problem. I don't want a fucking vehicle. One, I can't afford one, obviously. Two, honestly, if I was going to get anything, it would be a little bitty moped, something electric powered, or a bicycle that has a little solar battery on the back so that after I kick it for a few miles, I can kick on a little power switch and go 15 miles an hour. Because again, unlike the rest of these dipshits, I don't need to get there in 5 seconds. I'm fine taking a few minutes to get there if it's safe and if it's effective. Most of these idiots leave 10 to 20 minutes late or try to plan their route so they get the exact amount of time so they get there at the exact time. Because our system is so predatory, nobody's ever happy to go to work. Nobody ever arrives happy. Most don't even arrive alive. But everyone's always rushing, get it done, hurry up, get it done. And bipartisan to that, right now I'm tripping through these non-native bullshit fucking stabby plants. The reason I say stabby plants is because, let me grab one of these seed pods off of it. Their seeds, if I can get it within focus, are super duper sharp little barbs that connect to everything. And then almost as a predatory reaction, what these seeds will do is the tiny pod with its let me flip the fucking phone, thank you. Sorry about that, my phone is wanting to not work because it is now getting too hot for the technology. It is currently getting up to 90 degrees in this field, and it is a humid heat. I'm sweating and it is not cooling me at all. At this point, staying hydrated doesn't matter. I'm only drowning myself. But the reason these non-native plants are so damned itchy is because those hanging stalks that I showed you, sort of like armor, they'll cut you as you walk through. Now, it's not going to be like, oh God, I'm bleeding to death. But it's more like tiny paper cuts. When it puts this tiny paper cut on you, if you're not wearing clothing over it, it then puts that tiny seed in you. And you walk until you can't walk no more with it, and it drops out. And that nasty fucking European invasive colonizing grass continues to colonize. It's why back in the day it was the crabgrass of the South, and now it's basically the grass of the South. And I hear you. Well, how did it happen? What happened? There's a bunch of gardeners down here. Yeah. And they're all working for evil corporations that are doing this shit. Folks, when I say we live in hell, I'm only barely being hyperbolic. I mean, again, Georgia clearly has a drinking problem. You know what could help cure alcoholism? Give people therapy. Give people medical care in such a way that they can go and attend therapy. And force their bosses to actually put the people's mental health above our dear customers who don't fucking care about you at all. If you think they do, put out a tip jar. Put out a tip jar, and for the first 3 weeks, see if you don't get more, hey, what the fuck is this bullshit? Or if you get, oh shit, y'all are finally getting extra. That's fucking cool. Make sure this goes to you and not your bosses now. But hell, much like I'm gonna drag when my coworkers fuck up, we got a kid. I don't blame the kid. The kid is young and he is American, so he acted like an American would. Liz and the rest of the company was picking on him, like they do, because he fucks up. Sometimes I'm positive intentionally, because he believes that if he fucks up, they won't ask him to do it. And at this point, I'm just begging my bosses, send him back to me. Send him back to the kitchen. The kitchen longs for people that enjoy fucking up. I'll put him on the fryers. It's a simple job. I tell you drop food, you drop food. Oh no, I burnt myself. Tough titty. Drop food. Again, folks, it's not because I'm unkind. It's because I have lived it. And I would kill for a chance to work up front where all I gotta do is deal with these slack-jawed dipshits. I can't tell them no. What you mean you can't tell them? Hey, bud, you want to order at the window? Well, yeah, I'm in a hurry. Ain't that a bitch? So are all of them. Go back around. Well, I won't eat here no more. You suck. Okay, fuck off then. Bye. Click. And it's that easy. If they stay there bitching, I'll pop my head out the window again. Okay, you got like 2 minutes and I'm calling the cops on your bum ass. Get out my drive-through. It's that simple, folks. Saying no is easy. When your boss, who stays in a work truck all day, chilling in an air conditioner, and tells you to go out there and get to work, if it's over 90 degrees, I look that fucker dead in the face and go, huh, you get out here with us then, hombre. Come on. I'm fine with it if you get out here with us. You just want us to sweat to the oldies while you dance to your old bullshit in a truck and make TikToks. Well, you can go fuck yourself, boss. And it should be that simple. Solidarity. Stand together. In case y'all haven't noticed, A Bug's Life was right. And look at the expensive cars versus the cheap family cars. Name me how many expensive cars you see go by. Family car, slightly more expensive family car, busted ass truck, van, pavement princess truck. Do you see any Bugattis, any Lamborghinis, any other dipshit slogans of wealth? I see one fucking Ford up there, a fucking either Taurus or Dodge Charger, the Ford's answer to that. And all that is a kid that don't know what the fuck speed is because they think buying it's going to get them good out the box. But again, we outnumber them. Because when you see one of these little muscle cars, that's not a rich person, folks. That's someone that bought someone else's little fantasy off the rack after the other old person died. That Ford fucking or that Chevy Charger, whatever the fuck Charger it is, has been popular since the first Transformers. That truck's popularity has outlived the Southern South, the Confederacy. The popularity of the fucking Dodge Charger, I think that's what it is, has outlived the Confederacy at this point. Long may the Dodge Charger reign. That's my point, y'all. We outnumber the rich. And if you're a small business owner, well, guess what? You're never going to be one of those rich fucks. You should side with your employees first. Because again, y'all, it is us versus them. The problem is some of us are stupid enough to get divided. We're selling their slop for them. And we don't even demand the rich cunts come out to see it anymore. Back in the day, at least, we had to bring the rich cunts down from Carnegie Hall to see the slaves building. Nowadays, they can send their drones out. Like I said, 2 viewers. Hello, everyone. Hey, Renee Monica Rodriguez, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Hey, I am walking into Cartersville proper today. And since I've promised y'all for over a few weeks now, since it's on the way, fuck it, we're going by Cartersville Main Library. I would show you Harley Library, but because I live on the bad side of the bridge, it would literally take 3 times as long to get to the library that I'm supposed to go to, being a resident of Harley. But in order to get to the Harley Library, I would need to travel down this road to its end, all the way back around to the power plant, and then I'm basically going to be seeing the bridge that prevents me getting to the library once I get there. It's literally hour-long walk, 14-hour-long walk. And the good county of Cartersville, in the good state of Georgia, says, fuck you, poor, get it. Walk it or die, it's your choice, bud. Like I said, I'm a little tuned, I guess, in my system outside of bullshit CBD. Because every payday I'm in the negatives, and this payday I fought hard and did a bunch of extra hours in shifts and did these on my off days, and I made negative $70 at the end of the week on payday after paying off my loans and my long-term loans from paying the electricity at the house. That's the other house, the one that I lost due to the court system basically letting people just run roughshod over me. Now, if I was one of these rich pricks in their little Malibu beach houses in the middle of the field in Georgia for some reason, honestly, I think, one second. I like to do the little face-to-face when I'm actually answering one of you good folks' questions. And Renee and Monica, I want to say that if what I saw from the trailer window is accurate, it looked like it was raining in the upper atmosphere and it's just so hot down here, it was evaporating before it hit. The last time I saw something like that, which took me a minute because I had seen it before, was when I worked for Steel City Marine Transport, and we would take things from way up north on the Mississippi down to Baton Rouge. You would see that type of heat dome effect over Louisiana and Mississippi, mostly due to that nice, swamp atmosphere. But I ain't never seen it in Georgia. Seeing it here kind of worries me a little personally. That's because it means that we've upset the balance of our system so much that, I don't know what kind of swamp we're about to get back in Georgia, but it feels like we're about to get a swamp again. And I know Savannah, Okefenokee, I know there are swamps in Georgia already, but Cartersville, Harley has never been quite so humid in the mornings. Now, where's I'm such a southern bitch. I got me an actual old-timey southern sweat rag for this occasion. And I'm sorry for all the awkward angles. Without my headpiece that decided not to charge, even though it was on charge for over an hour, I'm letting it charge in my pocket and hoping that the next 20 miles will be a little bit quieter. Okay, here's a good chance for me to talk about the differences. And I might be talking out my ass here, so forgive me if I am. But I believe this is our wild sage. That's a sunflower plant. But I believe this is our wild Georgia sage and pasture and prairie, which is where it's supposed to be at its max height, not being mowed. And then we have this shit. This cut me all over my legs and leave seeds on me garbage. The bane of my... Actually, this one's pretty cool. This one, not the others, fuck those. This one, according to the survival guide I have based on the Appalachian Trail trips, if you collect the seed pods and brew them, I'm in both. I'm in the southern U.S., Georgia, the state of Georgia, not the fun European place that's probably doing way better than we are. But as I was saying, let me pluck another one because I'm hoping to spread these more than those fucking cut 'em up plants. But if you gather enough of these and grind them up like you would coffee, you'll get something similar to a coffee that does give you a little boost. Now, for the record, I would not gather any of these, nothing off the side of the road, because you'll basically be brewing and tasting delicious roadkill and tire rubber. But if you find, that turned around differently. But if you find them in, say, a place like over there and that behind the fence, or over there near the power lines, or over down through there, then yeah, if you need a boost from coffee but cannot afford coffee because we're heading into a state of depression, I would suggest gathering them, roasting them like you would coffee, and then brewing them. When I tried it, it was not similar to Earl Grey in any way, shape, or form. It was its own unique thing. And you should flavor accordingly. I would highly suggest a nut-based milk. No, I mean like almond milk, pistachio, something nut-based. Because dairy milk on it seems to like, well, I don't know, you Brits might love it. It kind of does what milk does in tea for me. It doesn't really do well, but it does a job. But that was one of the things that was in my little survival book. One of the things that I donated to the library years ago about plane survival. And planes as in like the planes, not plane as in like our plane crashed. That's a whole different survival book, friends. And honestly, I hate to say it, but in the modern day, I think our planes are meant to kill us when they crash. I feel like they've incorporated that into the design because originally, you got a lot of survival. I mean, the plane crashes haven't really increased. Their lethality has. Because remember, most cases of American cannibalism came from wrecks happening over the mountainous areas. Or wrecks happening in big desertous areas, like in the outsides of Cali and shit. Most cases of that were because the plane crashed, 5 or 10 people died, and the rest survived, but were isolated and stuck because they were all getting ready for a jaunty joyous romp to Florida, and instead they ended up parked on the mountains in Tennessee or something. It's one of those, y'all, I don't care how strong your gumption or your bootstraps are, if you get written down somewhere that is not survivable, you will not survive. The reason I'm so big on the please pass this on to city folk and councils and shit is because, yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, it's an inappropriate video for some. I don't want to die. I want other people to die even less. And with how many people, and I've seen at least 4 or 5, unfortunately mostly immigrants, so nobody's gonna give a shit, but 4 or 5 people and myself that walk this road, any given day we could just die because there is no medical safety. There's no way if you start to suffer from heat exhaustion and go into heat stroke that you will survive. And that's a cold truth. I like iced coffee. And hello again. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, I'm trying not to ignore chat, but I also, due to the fact that I waited a little bit longer hoping that headset would charge, I kind of waited a little too long, and now I need to watch for traffic because normally early morning, I ain't worried about it. Most people are too busy. They don't even notice me in their half-awake state. Sadly, I live in a state with a bunch of little sociopaths, so I don't want to get hit while I take you on this fun tour. But believe I have almost been hit several times on this very road, either because of willful ignoring of somebody walking, or because they just didn't care and I was in the way. And remember, folks, during Obama's America, pedestrians had the right of way no matter where they were at. During Trump's America, and carried through the Biden administration, where I'm walking right now, if they hit me and leave me for dead, That's on me, Holmes. I'm in the road. I am causing a problem. Not intentionally, mind you, because also I don't want to trespass. And that is the demarcated line between me and the public here on the road and the private ownership of whoever lives there. Don't go harass them. Don't go harass them. I want to be absolutely crystal clear, because otherwise I might have to go back through all these videos, listen to myself, and edit out addresses. Do not harass anyone that you see on one of my streams, because mostly I'm not talking about them. I mean, let's face it, most of the people living in the river station are living hand to mouth, same as the rest of us, are not much better. They're our brothers. There ain't no war but class war here, folks. And the people we fighting against, they don't live in homes that look like that with a home lived in family. They live in manners that look like they've been manicured by AI chat. They live in homes that they know nothing about because they don't even maintain their own home. They have landscapers for that. Wild new world we live in, folks. And I would not say a good one personally, but you can change it, as can I. All it takes, small acts and being unabashed. It's much like I recently got into an argument at work. Nearly got in trouble with it, but it was just, I wasn't trying to be overly critical or mean. It was just one of those, Alan was going, well, they won't come after my husband's benefits, and my dad was retired. They surely won't come after my dad's retirement benefit. And I'm like, Alan, I don't want to panic you, buddy, but they cut, if your dad has an incident on the 4th of July and wants to go into the clearing at the end of the woods, there is no safety for him to call that is state sponsored that'll sit down with him and be like, hey, bud, I feel you, let's talk it through. Trump cut that so he could give billionaire jackasses like Elon Musk and, you know, Bill Gates and all the other jackasses a gigantic tax cut. There's a reason we have over 300 billionaires here in the U.S. It's because we let the parasites propagate. Stop letting them. Why is it the American dream to become a rich douchebag? Personally, as a child, I always looked up to the nature preserve person more. The rangers, the ones who worked out in the wilds and kept the cause good. I looked up to my city workers, the ones who kept everything running right. When I saw billionaires, all I ever have seen is just pricks. Jackasses that serve no purpose at all to this world, but who basically collect the mass wealth of everyone because, again, our system is broken. Y'all, seriously, I still hated the billionaires back then, but at least then I could say, hey, son, you played the game and you won. I hate the game, not the player. In our modern day, all I need to do is buy these 5 people's homes, jack up their rent, boom, I'm in the club. Eventually, when he gets Robert Sapolsky apparently likes him as much as I do, he brings this one G. He was something low. He was not high ranked, but he basically flew the helicopters in Vietnam, in and out. And while I'm on it right now, but wait, when I get to it in the book that I'm reading, I'm going to do a much more book reporty thing on him. Really a flight major. He flew in and out to pull people, American GIs, out of Vietnam. He flew over a village. He was thinking the village must be getting attacked by the Vietnamese because the villagers are cowering, but he couldn't down the civilians because it had been a particularly rough time and they had lost a lot of men in that march. So the men needed to blow off some steam, and they were blowing off their steam against the Viet people. And this pilot, risking it all, landed his plane in between the last survivors from the village and the bloodthirsty American dogs, and basically said, take him now. He was arrested, Major was arrested, everyone was taken to court, and he got a court-martialing, and the Major got to walk away. But you know what he also got with his court-martial? He got about 40 Vietnamese citizens saved from execution that they would not have deserved, but they would have surely gotten. That to me is a hero. That to me is a badass. That's someone worth looking up to. Donald Trump, what the fuck has he ever done for anybody? He raped a bunch of kids and y'all think he's great. I don't understand. Bill Gates, he built a technology that he bought from someone else. I don't see what's so great. Elon Musk, again, he bought something. Ooh, he bought something, y'all. Not like you can do that every time you go into a Walmart or ideally a thrift store. That way you buy local, keep local. Like I said, I hate it when I have to talk about modern things because I just get caught in these doom spirals. Because, y'all, the game is set against us as the poor. The game is set against us completely. And the whole point is to make your children want to be rich. To make your children want to live in douchey little houses like that are just exploiting nature around them and killing everything. They want your children to be assholes. Don't let them make your children into assholes. Community, y'all. That's what makes the difference. And community is what wins. Because even in this, these assholes, look at what they've done. And again, don't harass them. Don't be mean to them. They're just dumbasses. It's not their fault. But they've planted non-native trees, non-native flowers, non-native sod grass, and pollinators that will spread all the way down this road, basically destroying the entire infrastructure here of plants and networks. And they did all of this. Why? Because it looks pretty, doesn't it? It looks like one of them jackass paintings, don't it? Don't you suddenly feel like you're less than them? I don't. I see dipshits that don't know how to read ecology and don't know how to hire people that would take care of the ecology. Like I said, I'm sorry to get on these long rant streams, y'all. I don't want it to be that. But I also kind of have to point out and live by the fact that sometimes the thing that keeps us going when all hope fades is just pure unadulterated spite. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, y'all, for the moment, I ain't drinking deep from the sweet cup of community and love. I'm drinking from the ever bitter, kind of tastes like cough medicine cup of spite and old Kool-Aid. I've got a frozen gallon in my bag right now that I'm just waiting to defrost because it's going to be that long of a walk, y'all. I mean, I can at least say that once I get into Cartersville proper, I will point out every bit of public space y'all see that we can sit on or take a rest on. Oh, look, they're going to destroy more land. Go on, conquering soldiers. Destroy your home and feel proud of it. Like I said, it's nothing against you if you want an easy life with sod and bullshit. But a more rewarding life would have you planting wildlife that's native. That's all I'm saying. And walking in native grass, you can always tell the difference. One, my legs hurt so much less when I walk through native grass because there's an ecosystem, a network. When you plant these wild European sods, there's no network. It is just death. It is death to the land animals around it because you're not feeding them what they need, what they're used to. You're feeding them garbage. It'd be like if you went to, I don't know, an inner city where people needed food. And instead of giving them, hey, there's a bullet. Instead of giving them nutritional things or helpful things, you gave them Doritos and name brand garbage to get them really hooked on that corn syrup. Okay, that was the big thing when I was younger. I think it's something else like saturated fats or whatever. But you get the pores hooked on something that's going to give them fleeting energy, and you keep them so busy that they never have time to think. It was like I talked to Alan the other day, and I feel so bad for my coworkers so frequently, because it's like, buddy, you think you're winning, but you so aren't. Well, you know what I'm going to do when I get off? I'm going to go home and go by the liquor store. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to feed into an addiction and instead do my very best to continue building up a little artistic channel in a community. Not that I'm better than you, brother, but when was the last time you did something? Like something for fun, something for you. Planted a flower, read a book, bought a book. I get on the TikTok and I drink. I have fun. I hang out with people and I drink. Drinking's fun. I mean, maybe. I'm not here to be a buzzkill, friend. I'm just saying. It's sort of like a pinky in the brain. I feel equally annoyed because it's like, what are you doing today, hiking hound? Doing the same thing I do every day, buddy. Trying to topple capitalism, and awaken class consciousness in such a way that we all bond together and fight against our corporate oligarchs and masters. What will you be doing tomorrow, Travis? I don't know. Probably the exact same fucking thing. Trying to topple capitalism and work within our system of power to safely remove power from these rich oligarchs and get people to wake up to what we could have if we just worked together. Or you can go with Alan, the ideal American consumer, and what you doing tonight, Alan? Well, I'm on drink. Cool, buddy. What you doing tomorrow night, Alan? I'm gonna get more liquor and drink. Y'all, I'm just saying, that's weak-ass escapism. That's weak-ass escapism. At the very least, if you're buying tea and weed, you can be sharing with your community around you in helpful ways and building around you. And again, that's just me being biased because I would smoke weed any day. I only drink on super duper rare occasions because after years of being an alcoholic, it doesn't taste like good times to me, friend. It tastes like sadness, loneliness, vomiting in a hotel toilet because you ain't got no home nowhere. But you gotta drink. Yeah. I just don't get it, y'all. I mean, hell, why isn't everyone driving a cool car like our friend there's driving? Something economical, something good for the environment and good for the people. Don't dox those good people, but you know, look over there for a minute while they drive off. That way nobody can get their license plate and be mean to people that I'm being nice to because I know how some toxic folks be. But yeah, y'all, it's easy to not be a dick. It is. Here, let me give you an example. I could kick this ball down into the sewer. I could leave it sitting here for Pennywise to find. Or toss. Well, I don't fucking know, but whoever's ball it is, they have more of a chance of finding it now. Easy to not be a dick. Also, I think that was a dog's ball. Either that or it was on the road for long enough to develop some bite marks. Now, I said it could not be a dick. You want to know how to not be a dick? Have a fucking hydration station for folks. Put a tiny bit of your ill-gotten fucking back-held hoarded wealth into the community around you. And at your hydration station, the fucking tear down of the bourgeoisie. You could have people have little applications for local businesses that we know you fucking run. Because you're blood-sucking monsters, not actual people. But you could have, instead of hoarding a house and a house and a house, you could just give the RV to somebody or rent it out to people who need it. And by rent it out, I don't mean at the exact value you purchased it at, asshole. I mean, rent it out to a friend in such a way that they pay you so you're not losing money, getting rich off of them. Again, I think America's problem isn't the fact that we want money in payment for everything. It's the fact that we want to get rich off of it or fuck you, you know? It's like, it took me literally starting to people to get him to give me $20 of the $80 he borrowed from me to feed his animals. Am I upset that he borrowed $80 to feed his animals? No, and I would buy the food for him again because I've been there. Pay it back. Stop telling me you're going to go out and drink every night if you know you got bills to pay. Artists that you owe money to for things that you purchased that you don't even have the goodness to carry around with you anymore. Is it, Alan, just another consumption? And don't get me wrong, y'all, I do some consumables myself. Part of the reason I'm so upset is because I've had one coffee today. One. I can't afford a fucking coffee pot. So I can't make the bags of coffee I have or bags of tea. I'm just stuck because I don't want to clean the kitchen enough to brew it on the stove yet. And I'm working on the kitchen. That was today's goal before I got the emergency call of, hey, you need to come in and sign this paperwork and then we can move on with it. And I'm like, hell yeah. Unfortunately, when I hell yeah, I It takes all day. And so instead of cleaning my studio or getting stuff set up for YouTube, working on some of those fans, sorry y'all, product drop. I was getting ready to start making fans as well. The Japanese style folding fans, as well as the old church lady style just stick and paper fans. One, because it's hot. Two, because I need to upcycle the stuff I have. And I can make fans, I think. Originally, the plan today was going to be to move boxes of stowed stuff to new areas, put boxes of food-style stowed stuff to work making food, and then put the rest to work being out of my fucking way so I could have a workspace for the channel. Now, I'm walking to his office. Because even though, and I'm not doxing him, I'm not knocking him, he's done a good job. But even though I got just a small town southern lawyer, unfortunately my small town southern lawyer can't afford to send a ride out to get me. But I like him is because he does a good job, not because he pretends to be rich and douchey. Leslie, whatever the fuck her name was on the other side of town, took my case, took $60,000 from me. According to the lawyer I currently have, didn't do that much work. And then got upsetty because I never paid the full amount. But it was like every time I was, okay, well, my friend is basically footing the bill for this at the moment. Would you like friend? No, you can pay me when we go to court. No, you can pay me when we go to court. Well, I'm going to drop you as a client because you haven't paid me. We haven't been to court. You said pay you. Fine, fuck it. Do you have any recommendations? Well, son, you got to pay lawyers. Bitch, you said pay you after court. And that's why I don't talk to the customers on the microphone. See, y'all, here's the downside to being trained to be brutally honest. I know, aren't I? I'm a bad, but see, there's the downside to me being honest all the time, y'all, is that you don't get many friends when you're honest all the time. In fact, oh, I really thought you were Bear Beater on here and not David Giles, my real true friend there. Real friend. He's one of the few friends I have that I'm always honest with because he's one of the few people I know that will, what I say might piss him off, but he'll walk away and will come back later, revisit it. He has never once wanted me to just lie to him, and I appreciate that because lying hurts me. Like physically, I think about it for hours. I dwell on it. It bothers me to lie. But part of that might have been my abusive parenting. Well, I don't know how to say it. But yeah, we're making it, y'all. And eventually I'll run out of shit to bitch about. But for now, it ain't looking like it. Just kidding. Like I said, my overall arching main complaint will always be, if it wasn't me, once like that one almost hit me because they went over the white line, bitch. Then, what if it was your kid or your grandma? Would you feel safe if you lived in New Harley and they needed to get to Cartersville to do literally anything? Because literally every do is this direction. And this is the one way to get there. There is no, oh, well, he's ignoring the safe route with sidewalk. No, I am not, I guarantee you. There is one other possible route, one that cuts away way back there. Doing in Cartersville proper, because you're going to cut all the way along the outside of Cartersville like you're going to White, and then you'll come back via Iron Belt, I do believe, though it's been a long while since I've been on that side. Also, the other good thing is all the shit that I'm carrying in my bag, if somebody, it's going to damage their vehicle. And that's a cicada. That's a fucking cicada I've been hearing this whole time. Hell yeah, I was wondering what that was. Just a single one. Normally they're deafening. We're gonna wait a minute. So like I said, assholes pretend like this road is big enough for a hole. Like I said, I got a real problem with Georgia drivers because most of them are assholes. About 1 in 3 will actually give a pedestrian space. Most of them just got a hard on hoping they'll hit you. Because in their little traffic mind, they think, oh yeah. But as soon as they do it, they'll be horrified by what they did, and then they'll get on TikTok all mortified. Oh my God, y'all, I don't know what happened. Because I see most people as monsters. I truly hope you never get to be as jaded as I am. But I truly do. I'm sorry, at this point in time, other than like the ones I recognize, I see 99% of people as just the monsters from our fairy tales. And due to this schizotypal disorder, you know, sometimes I mean that literally. Whew. I don't know, what would y'all rather stare at, all three of you lovely people here today, my most beautiful viewers, that I wish I could reward with things that would actually help you? Where did my thingy go? Everything froze. Oh, no, we're back. I don't know what it did or why it did it, but hey, welcome back, everybody. There's two of you now. Whew. Yeah, screw it. Long as we're on random top. I heard the latest hit from Hailstorm. By latest hit, I mean like 3 weeks or more ago. And I gotta say, I like that Miss Storm, Haleo or whatever her name actually is, she's a good singer. They do like a ladies metal, and their latest one seems to be more of a tribute to that. Honestly, I got into them back shortly after getting off the boat, and honestly, their music helped me rock through a long portion of the way home. Whenever I had Wi-Fi and I could get free radio, I'd be on Hailstorm. It's good to live by it, you know? I think that girl's seen some darkness in her own days. But the latest single, Darkness Always Wins, is a pretty good one. And yeah, I kind of feel like it happens just because people are, Aw. Yeah. Also, if you would, be careful of the couch cushion. Shifu had knocked it off, but he just looked so sad and cute. I decided to leave it down for him. I'll pick it up when I get home. And one of the lady voids, so it's got a bit of a strong odor to it right now. But I moved it so it would dry out some. I'm getting there. I'm not even close to halfway there. But on the bright side, there we go. But on the bright side, I still got an hour before anyone shows up at the office. So, yay, I might still beat them into work. Tiny things. It's about the little things, y'all. And you gotta enjoy them in this country, because fuck all if you don't. Little things is all us poor folks got left. The rich get their mansions and their car hobbies and their house hobbies and building hobbies and their pedo island hobbies. Those poor folks, we get to see flowers every now and again when they aren't choked out by the invasive shit grass. And now we get into the ankle cutting again. Oh my. Once upon a time, my legs, now they look a little more or less like a horror movie. I can possibly get soda at Martin's if I lock into just getting it done. I'll probably just stay on this side of the road, as this side of the road is the road the library is on. I'll stop by there, give y'all a nice view of the outside, if they're open. Go inside, take a few pictures, short, and then upload that short as I walk to the lawyer, and then record walking home from the lawyer. I might stop by after, but right now Mary's already short-staffed. And if I go in, I would not be able to leave. So we're just not going to go in. Hey, don't you feel safe, y'all? Wouldn't you let your grandmother walk this route? Wouldn't it be safe and lovely? I'm sure they'd make it to their destination. I'm sure that's not against a walker or a wheelchair. I'm sure anyone that's differently able could easily make this route. It's not like George keeping you inside unless you can fit to a modern mold of athleticism. It's not at all like the rich are killing us because they're malicious, is it? But no, we're just supposed to assume ignorance and not maliciousness. It's not their fault that they planted stabby plants all along this road. It's not them that let the poison ivy and poison oak grow so infestuous through there that no one can walk and keep leg flesh. It's not them that made the pavement princess not only regular, but preferred. It's not the government at all, y'all. They're just whittle boys. Just whittle birthday boys. How dare you insult and be mean to them? Ooh, that's a big old fat centipede. And it's already dead, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Hey, like I said, I might end up using your CVS $10 if I can just walk in there and spend it like money. I might use that on getting something that isn't quite so weak. Get some coffee. Maybe even one of them there cocaine energy drinks. Want one of them there legal speed drinks. Something that if I shoot it up or snort it, I'm a horrible drug offending monster. But if I drink 18 of them and rob a liquor store, well, that's just being a good American. Yeehaw, Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull sponsorship. Please give me money, you evil, soulless corporations. Because yes, y'all, much like the great American hero John Dillinger, I don't want your money, friends. I want your billionaires' money. I want you to keep all your money and ideally to use it to better your lives. As if you are middle class or lower in America, let's face it, you're peasantry here now. You have had a hard lot while they have had luxury and suckle living. I say it's time those roles change a little. And again, I'm not saying kill your billionaires. I'm saying drag your bosses to work day. I'm saying let's start at the ground and build our way up. Because again, isn't it kind of weird that I've worked at the particular place I've worked for over 3 years? And I honestly couldn't tell you what our bosses look like outside of the first level. And those first level bosses, trust friends, they aren't your enemy. They're just as abused as you are. That'd be like these fellas getting upset with their foreman who's boiling his ass off in the trailer next to them. No, friends. What you want is that little asshole CEO. The one that's currently, if they're even there, down in Atlanta in an air-conditioned office, ruining people's lives from afar. That's the ones you want to go after. Not some dude in a work office space. Because again, friends, remember, if you look like me, if a single medical emergency will put you down and make you homeless for day 1097 or whatever Hobo Joe was on, I feel bad for a fella. If one medical emergency would do that to you, meine Bruder, you are my brother. We should fight together, not against her, together and against them, not against each other. Because you ain't the reason I'm having to march past all these idiots can't keep to their lane. You might be here someday too. Because again, friends, when the day comes that you can't afford your Uber or your taxi, and you can't afford the hour-and-a-half wait for Bartow Transit to maybe show up, how will you get to your dead-end job? If you're Alan, you'll just call in. If you're me, well, much like when I have to get to here, you hike it. I just wish I was hiking through the prairies and not through the fucking hellscape that I must march through. Because again, back into the cutting grass. Yay! Y'all, that's a little bit hyperbolic, but it really would hurt a normal person. The only reason it doesn't hurt me is I've grown so used to it. I've been cut too much. My legs don't is that pain anymore. It's like when I did the oil change a couple days ago, and Miss Cat's like, how do you wear shorts in the kitchen? If I did that, my legs get burned. Oh, they burn, Miss Cat. They burn. But I mean, that's why hell wasn't scary to me. Throw me in the fire and eventually the burn stops. Much like this. The rate I'm going and the rate I'm used to, I will be in the throes of a heat stroke before I notice I'm being exhausted from the heat. So again, when you're used to hell, what's a tiny bit more fire, eh? And again, I'm not going through any kind of special hell. There are people a whole lot worse off. There's some fella that was on my Shorts for You page once it got tired showing me dancing children to show me this fella that's just hiking around outside. According to his feed and the way he looks, day 1097 of being homeless in America. And yeah, people giving words of inspiration, a whole lot of Jesus loves you and prayers and bullshit. But then if we scroll past to one more tick, there's this young couple swimming around in their private pool. And, oh wow, honey, come look. Someone else just tipped $400. Wow, thanks, unknown user, thanks. Like I said, y'all, the internet was a mistake. The window of all knowledge, and most people spend their time on here getting people to make NPC noises. I said, hell, the same thing that lets you see firsthand front row genocide is the same app that is basically making our children have the attention span of gnats. And yeah, that's the same app, by the way. Same one you can see Coco Melon, but with an adult on it, is the same app. If you scroll over to the Palestinian side, you'll see what Israel's doing to Palestine right now. And just saying, folks, that's not a good thing. I gotta watch my back though, because I'm kind of on the construction site. And in this area, I wouldn't blame them because I'm kind of in the way. I'm trying my best not to be. But again, I ask you kindly, good people, what choice do I have? Where else can a man walk? That side is washed out, as I've shown you. And this side is completely taken up. And there is no shade left anymore for the hiker. No healthy ground on either. And yet still we persist in March. Because some of us weren't born with a silver spoon jammed firmly in our asshole. Some of us have to work in March. Boy howdy, do I sometimes wish I didn't have to do it. Or at the very least with, hey, that one actually moved. That was a good person. First one of the day. Holy fuck shits, I'm happy. But yeah, y'all. I just hope I can bring you some degree of pleasure as I suffer. Because hell, this has more energy than an unboxing video, right friends? I'm not gonna make fun noises like chewing noises or sell you Pokemon cards, but I'll let you see Georgia the way an average hiker or unhoused person might. And I'll let you hear my complaints as well as the complaints of anyone who wishes to talk. Because I'm up for interviews, folks. I just don't particularly do man on the street. Because, well, listen to my feed. Unless you've researched what you're doing, you sound like an idiot. I know I sound like an idiot more times than not. But at least my heart's in the right place, right? And at least the hatred I'm spreading is over-treated. Trying not to vomit right now. Got the heat creeping up in my guts. Pretty flowers though. If I must die, I can say I petted some real sweet cats, cuddled with my boy last night, and I got to see some really pretty wild prairie flowers. Also, last night my Minecraft world got deleted because I was not paying close enough attention, and I got by a witch in the cave. Anyone who called witch killing me on the last one, come collect your prize. There's no prize because I'm too poor for a prize yet. But when we can have prizes, come collect your prize. Now I must walk in the road because they have eliminated any way to walk outside of it. Boy howdy, I love living in Georgia, where the civilians can get fucked and big corporations can always build. Thanks, Kemp, you cunt. I'm just gonna go ahead and trespass if I can do it safely, because I don't care to get hit by some pipe layer running to work and probably late. Isn't it amazing how we're all late? Oh, I fucking called it. It was a pipe layer. Christian or Chastain Plumbing. I'm starting to recognize the trucks now, y'all. I've been walking too long. Well, he didn't have ladders. If he had had ladders, I would have assumed gutter or roofer. How you doing? There you go. Now we just have to carefully, without upsetting their stones, that was fairly easy, climb up, and now pick our poison. I think I'm going to stay on this side for the moment at least, because yes, unfortunately that I believe was poison oak, and I'm pretty sure that one might be ivy. But over there I know for a fact there's poison oak and ivy. And over there, it's blended in with all those fucking Bermuda grass. I think that's what the sharp, flaky, that wafting grass, I think that's what it's called, is Bermuda grass. Like I said, hopefully the library will be open by the time we get there, and I can find me a nice book on Georgia ecology specifically. Because all the knowledge of the world in my pocket, and after 4 days, I can tell you more about California, Alabama, and Mississippi wildlife than I can specifically Georgia. And you'd think that the dipshit AI would pick up on what I'm wanting and the algorithm would push me into that. But the further I go into what wildlife's around me, what are my native plants, what are the native Georgia prairie plants, the more I look into growing wild and growing native, the more it's, oh, you want more useless content? You want to hear how we're all going to die? You want to hear how overconsumption has basically got Americans like a pig in a trough? Hell yeah, brother, come on, let me show you how terrible the world is. I know you want to rebuild, but first, let's see what you're building for. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I just want to know what plants grow in Georgia. I'll try. $10 a coffee does sound pretty though. That'd be a whole 3 coffees, and I guess maybe a candy bar. I'm trying to remember how I can get $10 exactly from CVS, as I only have a change for, oh wait. Well, no, assuming I get back before we close, I might be able to pick up my tips from work. Yeah, I might, no, yeah. Yeah, I can do that, because yesterday I didn't get my tips for the pretty picture. And I genuinely kind of felt dirty afterwards because it didn't seem like she liked it. Yeah, I know how that sounds, y'all. That's not what it was meant to be. No, my upscaling artwork, because that's what I do. I take coloring books that I get from Ollie's, cheap prices as I can. I color them, take all the pictures I don't want or the ones that I just don't think I got the skill levels for. And eventually, once I get enough of them to make another book, I'm gonna take them up to work with some crowns and shit for the kids so they can have something to do while their parents are ordering slop for them. But so far I don't have enough pictures to do that, and some of the good Christians I work with would steal the up to their church community rather than leave for the children that come to the restaurant, as few as they may be. And again, nothing against church folk. I got nothing against you. But y'all got whole life communities and safety nets of all sorts. Most of my folks that are secular, our safety net is us. And it's a rough life out here with no safety net. So while it's not competitive in any way, it is in a tiny bit. I'm going to stick to the shadow much as I can. Running with the shadows, running. Like I said, radio silence kills these streams. But I also don't just want to bitch continuously all the way there about how terrible we are without any kind of an out to make it better. And for that, I'll say there are ways we can make it better today. All it would take, get the politician to see, that one didn't even slow down, but at least he gave me space. Do I or they have? The people come out, left open sewage lines, but they wrapped it in caution tape. That'll make it easy to dodge, right? Like I said, if I gave you half a meal, would I get paid for the day or would I get fired? Why do we give such special rules to other groups that get paid so much more? And that's not a direct dig. That's a y'all get paid a lot more. You should also do the same amount you demand we do for minimum wage. Because it is sort of that. Why is it ever I to bring solidarity? Every time I try to bring all the cooks in an area together, because folks, I'm sorry to say, that's what it'll take. To make a functioning union in this godforsaken shithole of a country, that's what it would take. All people coming together. Because you're fighting off against corporations that think you're easy to buy and sell. And so far, they ain't wrong. I mean, they ain't wrong. Spirit Airlines keeps trying to introduce standing seating so you can stand for 4 hours on your flight, but you'll also finally be able to see someplace other than the devil's asshole that is Georgia. Meanwhile, they also sometimes auction off tiny amounts of money, a fraction of what you would pay for the airline ticket, because they overbooked. Because again, you aren't people, you are products to be sold. I mean, it's like social media. We all love social media, at least we used to. And it used to be a great way to socialize. Get people together, build little communities. Hell, I did more than one D&D stream that was literally just me and 7 other people on screens, nowhere near each other, rolling our dice with the trust me bro. And it worked because we worked together. But nowadays, you try to get a D&D group together, you're going to have at least 2 assholes in the group that ChatGPT, AI, algorithm, whatever, says, yeah, you need these 2 guys, though. And it's just, our system is fucked. Our system is fucked because it's more about selling you things and selling you time than actually help anyone. And that's for all communities all the way across the board, y'all. Seriously. I mean, for real though. Because again, my best friend in the whole world, someone who I've seen on for everyone in his life, and I feel ashamed because what little I've done is not nearly enough. But I'm the only motherfucker that shows up to do things, it feels like. Unless he literally guilts and twists arm. And again, I'm not doing enough, y'all. But shit, I'm doing everything I can, or as much as I can. And maybe that's why I'm broken mentally, because to me, I'm never going to do enough. A world where I'm not constantly plagued by the thought of starving children and tanker trucks spewing death into the air for sake of big corporation cunts, I'm not going to be able to sleep easy again. And that kind of sucks. But there are good things too. Little banshees growing up strong. Looks just like Ronan, but they got 2 eyes and they're twice. Little Ronan is finally settling out good. Less aggressive. He stopped spraying as much. I know he still does it. I know that little bastard's still doing it, but he does it less. And let me be it flips around. They have crickets now. Fishing season started. The only thing that was flip around. Thank you. The only thing that was preventing them from having fishing bait was that it wasn't fishing season. I just do not have a container to carry them in, nor do I have money to purchase them as of yet. But as soon as we do, we can stop by. fact, ideally, if one of us makes enough money, eventually, soon, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, I've wanted for months. Well, for a month. I've wanted for years, but they haven't been available for years. I've wanted for months for us to try our local Korean food place. And now that they're finally open, a 4K, we still can't do it. You know what makes it worse is even my joke about, oh, I'll set up one of those little carts and I'll hand. Thanks, fucker. 1 second, let all the traffic go by. But even in the joke of, oh, I'll set up some carts, or I'll set up a cart with the sticks and I'll run us down here on foot. Even in that way, I don't think we could do it because we'd have to use the road. And a lot of asked to run us down just to see if they could. They would get a sudden boner of patriotism and want to run down the Chinese cart. Y'all, I'm sorry. I want to have more faith in the people around me, but fuck's sake. I mean, look at the area around me. This is supposed to be the South, y'all. The mythical land of politeness, gentility, working together, and the communion of each other in nature. And what do we got? Garbage. A random shoe from probably, oh, I didn't realize y'all was staring at my face the whole time. My bad, y'all. There's the camera. A shoe from a probable dead person. Or someone that lost it running across the road real quick. Train tracks, the only well-maintained part of this town. And they constantly maintain them. The rest of it can go to pot, right? Because fuck us. But that company need to keep that coal rolling through Georgia Power. $1 billion on the line, right? Like I said, y'all, I hate getting down in the dumb things, but it does feel like the game is rigged against us, you know? And yeah, y'all, I'll shut the fuck up when I start hearing other people bitch. But it feels like it's me and the rich assholes down in California and fucking out in LA. And don't get me wrong, fully, wholeheartedly, yes, I'm not gonna say no to someone fighting for the cause. But it'd be nice if we had more people in the cause fighting for it. Because y'all, I hate to tell you this, but California's gonna be fine even with the wildfires. LA gonna be fine even with the wildfires. The blue states, they're good, y'all. They Gucci. They gonna be fine through this. They just gonna float through this time. It won't be fun for them, but with the public safety nets in place and the things in their areas designed specifically to combat Republican politicians, yeah, they're gonna be fine. It's us in the red states that are fucked, friend. It's us with no safety net, like Texas. With all them dead children, you wanna know why all those dead children are there? Texas doesn't plan for natural disasters. They rely on FEMA. Just like Georgia, just like Alabama, just like Louisiana. Need I go on? If it's a red state, they don't break even, they rely on the system. So, when you take away that safety net, you're not gonna punish states that have well-placed infrastructure in place. You're going after your red states. Because most Republican voters are fucking stupid. And they vote with their hatred and their fear, not with their brains. Because again, if they did think with their fucking brain and not with the one in their pants, not with the head in their pants, maybe, just maybe, they would have listened when, well, who the fuck is that motherfucker come from? Oh, money, old money. Well, who's Trump? Where's he come from? Oh yeah, old money. You got all old, come on, thank you. But you got all old money politicians. So of course our country's gonna wreck. Because look at all the oligarchies. You think they're doing so hot? Rich people, by their very nature, their parasitic nature, they are stupid. Because they've never had to be clever. A poor person, even though we constantly get called stupid, a poor person can't afford to be stupid. Make one dumb decision with your weekly budget and you starve for 3 days. Meanwhile, the richest man in the world bought Twitter at a $2 billion loss and has now recouped his budget after buying America. The rich don't learn because they don't have to. When they fuck up, they buy a new path. They buy a new vowel, for those who are old enough to remember game shows. And the poor, well, we buy a beer and say, thank you very much, Mr. Trump, for the guy to get the beer. Thank you very much. Because we're very, very stupid, apparently. I'd like to think we're not, but again, with the number of copiums going on, the Epstein file situation fiasco, I'm positive we're just stupid at this point. There's no ignorance about it. We're just fucking stupid, hateful bitches. And if that's what we is, I kind of hope we get knocked out when what's coming. Because it's not going to stop, friends. You can cry. You can bitch. You can scream. We nominated that fascist. And if we aren't going to get him out for committing war crimes and various other crimes, what makes you think they're going to do shit this time? I mean, hell, I'm not happy about it. At the very least, let's not be delusional about it either. The Democrats don't give a fuck. At any point, they could have held this bill up indefinitely. Stalling out America, yeah, but holding the bill up indefinitely. Instead, what was it got happened? Oh yeah, they changed the name. That showed them all right. Them Republicans totally aren't going to rape our coffers now. Nope, they can't call it the big beautiful bill. Now it's the big spending bill. Come on, y'all, Democrats doing something, right? They're not just sitting there letting the Republicans take the entire fucking game. They're being obstinate. Well, y'all, for those in office, I'd personally like for them to be a little bit more than obstinate. On January 6th, I was very disappointed to not see a single Democratic politician throwing hands with their Republican counterparts in the area. Considering, again, if it had been me, not that you should do violence, this is totally of ain't gonna happen because y'all, I'll never be in that kind of position. But y'all, if I was sitting in the state office with rioters getting ready to take the main room that I'm in, yeah, bet that bitch Marjorie Trader Greene would not have a nose right now. So I'd have slammed it into a desk until it was driven into her fucking melon-like head. J.D. Vance, he wouldn't have been a problem. His nuts would have been in his mouth after I kicked him hard enough. When you get faced with a violent opposition, that is not the time to say, meine Bruder, and extend your arms to hug them. That is the time you get ready to fight. And again, don't do violence. This is not a call to violence. I'm just telling you, when the jackasses have you surrounded and they're throwing slurs your way, that's not the time you're going to make any friends. That's the time to get the knife out your pocket. That's the time to grab your equalizer and swing for heads and kneecaps. That's not the time for controlled, peaceful talks. And if I could teach the entire left this one lesson, to be aggressive with your aggressors, oh my, how the world could change. How it would be better. I mean, I'm not saying it would fix it. It definitely would. But at least then it wouldn't constantly feel like all we're catching is losses. Oh, but don't worry, they're going to get him in court all right. Yep, they're going to drag him into court and make him pay a little bit of money. And then he'll go home to his penthouse apartment and he'll think about it. Be locked up in Georgia State Pen like some of our inmates are. I want to hear the reports of the president getting eaten alive by bed bugs, covered in all those crackhead-like marks because the bed bugs are eating his arms and legs. I want him to freeze to death in a Georgia prison cell while winter's going through, or be sitting there in the ball soup that is a hot wave in a box. I want to see him wearing the shame orange colors and having to pick up the good American people's garbage like a typical slave does when we arrest them in our horrible fucking country. I want to see that. I don't want him to pay money. That shit's easy. Anyone can pay money doing that. Like it or not. I want to see him have to face the same justice as the poor people have to face. That's what I personally want to see. But maybe I'm different. JoJo's does have bait. They do not have the bait we require. That bait shop is the only one that has the crickets we require. And yes, I'm aware I will have to walk it, unfortunately. Just the unfortunate side effect of being in this terrible country. I mean, what other option is there? It's either that or I learn how to repair caddies. And I don't know how to repair cars, and I would hate to break your car further trying to repair it with no. If only we knew a mechanic that would actually work on it. Sadly, everyone who's ever promised, like any one of my friends who promises to come and give me rides, well, they vanish like a piss in a hot day. Oh God, even my catchphrases and things are going out. I'm not gonna cut, y'all. I'm not gonna cut out the screen. We're gonna march this thing till we get to the library. Now we're almost to the halfway point. And God damn it, I don't want Google Maps to be right. Apparently, I can reach the courthouse in 2 hours. I don't think you should, though. Oh, my legs are hurting so bad. But welcome, y'all. We are officially on the outskirts of Georgia. God damn. Taste that delicious country air. It all tastes like exhaust and sorrow and shame. Oh, look, it might be Frank the Hobo, the wild shitter, the man who literally shits on walls. It is Frank the Hobo Shitter. Everyone say hi to Frank the Hobo Shitter. He's the one that moved into my grandfather's house and shits on everything like a wild animal, rather than using a toilet. He's best friends with my crackhead pedophile uncle. And it looks like he's broken his arm. Oh, poo for him. I hope y'all actually saw him, as I'm not going to zoom in on the piece of shit. But he is most definitely a piece of shit. And he exploits a lot of good people. Right now he's heading into McDonald's to beg folks food. Because that's what he does for a living. He begs. And I would normally feel bad for him if he also wasn't a shit stain for hire. He'll do whatever you want, within reason. Hurting people, he's all good with that. Sex things? Maybe, if you're a lady. But that's Frank, our resident hobo piece of shit. Going to bum food from McDonald's, like he always does. And like I said, y'all, there's a difference between unhoused and bum. He's a bum. From when I have talked to him, the main reason he chooses to not maintain a typical job is because if he did, he would owe money on his kids, supposedly. I don't know if he has kids. That sounds like a typical American man, though. So, yeah. But with his new arm and his new cast and his new scam going, I'm sure he's doing great. I wonder if he's still crashing at my grandfather's house. Probably, but then again, maybe not, being that there's no electricity there unless they pay off the electric bill. I'll pay it off once the land sells. Till then, it ain't going up and ain't going down. It'll wait. Hell, our state's willing to wait 100 years for a pedophile to see justice. They can wait a few more months for my electric bill. And if not, what they gonna do? Turn it off again? Like I said, y'all, sorry to bring my personal laundry here, but you know, hell, y'all have watched me do my literal laundry in a bucket. Meanwhile, that fucker exploits hundreds from the church each week. My shit gets washed in a bucket. Meanwhile, the hobo goes to the church and then hits up the laundromat. The reason why? Well, because he's willing to suck that Jesus dick and I'm not. The church would happily fund me if I was willing to speak about how great and gracious and wonderful they are. You know, less than great food and horrible attitudes to the unhoused unless they're willing to sing the praises of Jesus. And if you're a Jesus person, don't take it personally. I'm not talking about you unless you're someone that would say, you know, oh, I'll help you out, but only if you worship my God. Because what I remember about him from the folklore, that Jesus fellow was very big on share and share alike. that the one quote I do remember from the Bible is, easier shall it be for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. That's a fire hazard. We'll make that Shaw's problem. I'm not throwing that away in a dumpster. That was 2 busted batteries. That's gonna leak acid. If it's gonna leak acid, I'd rather it do it in the chemical rather than out here on the road. So here's the rest of it. They might as well get the whole product. I'm a giver that way. I don't know where the screen went though. That's the mystery. But the screen has vanished from chat. Trying to be silly, y'all. I really should have picked that up, but without the means of disposing of it, their janitor will pick it up because they get paid to do that very task. Assuming on their next poncy little vacation to some foreign land that doesn't want their poncy little rich ass there. My God, I hate the rich. They're coming to take me away, y'all. I done talked about the rich too much. Kidding. If I'm not mistaken, that's an ambulance. Let's see if I'm right. Fire truck. I'm changing my answer. It's a fire truck. And I looked. I cheated. But it is indeed a fire truck. And an asshole on fire, you stupid twat. Get out of their way. Fucking people, am I right? Look at this asshole getting in the way of a fire truck. Now look, y'all, look. Look at that asshole. Couldn't be late to get their coffee, could they? I'm very much ACAB coded. I am very much, as David would put it, not a friend of the police or the first responders. But y'all, come on now, we can all agree. Unless you're attracted to the firemen, but it's like they're out here putting their actual lives on the actual line to do actual good work. Please get out of their fucking way so they can go do it. And if you want to fight a fire or save some old person who's had a heart attack or a heat stroke on their yard, not that I'm too personal about the ones having heat stroke. I'm not getting personal about that. But yeah, y'all, shit. The fire trucks from the Get Out of Hell game. Give them some spikes and rockets on the front. That way when a poncy twat wants to block the traffic, they can just blast that bitch out the way. I don't know if you could tell. She was indeed a bitch. Might be a long-haired dude, might be a bitch, who knows. I'm not going to judge you based on your driving outside of get the fuck out of the fireman's way. Alright, y'all, I'm just trying not to die. I do wonder if the mimosa tree is native to Georgia. I might have found my but one invasive plant I'm with. Because personally, I kind of dig the mimosa. It smells nice, looks pretty. Doesn't quite spread as fast as you would think, because there's a lot of them. How many are on this road alone? You'd think they would have gone to seed through here a lot quicker. Oh good, I'm not fake. For a minute I thought y'all were just getting a close-up of my chest going up and down. But if you notice, it's a little bit easier to talk and maintain thoughts in here. I wonder why that is, friends. I wonder if that could be the ample amount of shade and the fact we now have a solid structure to walk on that is actually solid and not at an 80 to 90 to 70 degree angle. Maybe that's why it's easier to maintain a cool head. Or maybe it's as they are coming up through the tree line and along the grass line to give a pleasant blow, rather than like out in New Harley, where there is no sidewalk, no safe way to travel, and the main thing you're breathing is again, could be anything, could be nothing, who knows. Our goal isn't to name and shame, it's just to get to where we're going. We've been going for about an hour 55 minutes. I got two. I'm very happy to have y'all. I know one of them's David, and I thank you very much for hanging out, David. Anyone who is new here, if you would like and subscribe, I'd be very appreciative if you like what I'm saying. And after there's 100 of y'all, I'll do a hair together so that I can say the line, I'm brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. I've wanted to do that line since I was a little kid, but never once had the chance. So I'm still waiting for that day. I like being funded by viewers rather than corporate interests. One, because if I upset the viewers, you guys, point out what I'm saying. If you're a top fan and you disagree with me, if you have a good reason, I might see reason. I got nothing against folks that listen and talk. My big bitch is just how many Republicans with their little pot accounts would pour in if I gave them the chance. You know what I mean? It's an unreasonable guy, much like the description says. I'm learning, like you. I mean, yes, I'm poor now. I was middle class in the 90s, and I started to become poor in the early new poor. Some of us are old poor. The only real difference is how you know how to spend your money. Because, for example, another thing that I'll pass by as I'm heading in is a food bank. It would be very nice if it were open today, but sadly, it's only open on Wednesdays. Also, sadly, I work Wednesdays, so I ain't gonna get there in time. But it's by an actual good organization, the Red Door, who I cannot tell you all their secrets. I've not been a member. I haven't seen behind their curtains. But they run a food bank. They don't make you be religious. They're happily give to secular families. And the first day you find them, well, that's the first day you can get food from them too. No waiting list, no bullshit. They're just there to feed Georgians, and for that I highly appreciate them and will totally stand for them. As opposed to you tabernacle assholes giving old food and demanding people stay for an hour-long service. Fuck your God. And your old crackers. I mean that in every way, but mostly I mean Ritz. They literally give out 2-year-old crackers to me when I had to go there. 2-year-old crackers and tuna fish that was about 3 months out of date. Praise Jesus, I suppose. But if you go to the Red Door as opposed to them, it's actually a good organization. Let me flip this around so I'm not actually showing folks in their cars. As soon as it changes, I won't make you look at my ugly mug no more. I know. We're here to watch the route, not me. But we have to give our fellows a certain degree of privacy too. They deserve their privacy. They are just people living their lives like me and you. Some of them just get to ride around in very nice cages. Now, we're walking, follow me on downtown. We are officially about to be in Cartersville proper. We are seeing the local landmark of the West End, the big-ass stupid church, and the Ingle. Also the washroom, where I used to do laundry back before the Depression hit. Well, I guess it's still technically a recession. A depression is after how many years? Either way, before the recession, my laundry. In case you ever want to find me IRL, I'm always happy to hang out with my friends and my subs anytime. Anytime I'm able, I'll be there for you. I've been dreaming of a bike, y'all, like a motorized one. I ain't afraid to go get my license and pay the extra for it. My big thing is just getting something that I can actually feasibly work on and learn about. I could probably, given the time, stop the YouTube channel, stop the gaming, and just pick up automotive books on the caddy, and using the minimal tools we got and possibly stealing a few from Michael. I'll return them, but borrowing them. Tools. I could probably get the caddy running again, but it would take all my dedication, and I can't give you 100%, so I'd rather not touch it. Because right now I know if you take it to a proper mechanic with a capital M, if I go to fucking round with it, well, I might make new problems trying to fix old problems. And it's not like it's a fresh out the box toy. That was bought new to us, so it's one of those, you know, mixed bag, and I don't feel confident. It's sort of like how, yeah, I know how to do a lot of medical shit. I was basically trained in Job Corps to be a first responder, but that doesn't mean I would work on somebody without a fucking EMT nearby me. I'll do CPR, but I ain't doing much more than that. And again, that's not because, I don't know how to do it. It's because I don't want to trying to help you. The first rule of the Hippocratic Oath that I think all the doctors around these parts need to take a closer look at is first, do no harm. If you're ignoring a patient's long-term effects because you know they don't have the insurance to pay for it, well, friend, you are doing harm. I mean, you're not actually like getting in there and hurting them, but you're hurting them through, what's it called? Sort of like if I go ahead and I just give you raw food. You want your food fast, you're not listening, you're pushy with the, fine, here, have it. I'm still poisoning, I'm giving you pork or chicken. Now again, if it's like the steak, deal with it. You got a rare steak. I like them that way. But if it's pork or chicken, absolutely not. I've told customers to their face to fuck off. Beef, well, you can go fuck off and go somewhere else, friend. I'm not poisoning you. I might not like most of our customers. I draw the goddamn line at poisoning them, though. Because to me, that's the line, you know? I can call them an asshole. Everybody's an asshole sometimes. There's our subway as seen on Google. Google told me where the subway was, y'all. It's like, and halfway there, you will see the subway. We're halfway there, guys. Woo! Hi, David. I figured I was going to see only you there, buddy. I'm let it. I think I'd be better if my headphone was in. In fact, let's see if that stupid piece of shit is working yet. Because I think the headphone might have finally bit the dust today. That's the state it's in, though. When I use my tech, I use it till I can't. The right one burnt out about 3 months ago. The left one's still been going strong, but now it's not connected right. We shall see. And there, it's connected. We'll see if y'all can hear me. And that's our local Waffle House. Fun fact, in the event of a natural disaster, house will be the first business designated to open up. And they are, if we still have FEMA at that time, no promises we will, a FEMA site. Meaning that if a great hurricane, tsunami, tornado being the most likely candidate here in Georgia, that would, one second. Come on. Flip the fuck around. Do the flippy. There we go. That would be the place that they go to meet up at. The Awful Waffle. I have not eaten there since David and I started hanging out. And honestly, I ain't missing much. It's the same as anywhere else. The difference is that they are always open. And unless you get super rowdy, they don't kick you out. Sorry, I just realized y'all right up there on my chest again. I keep forgetting when I need to flip the camera around. Right now, we have hit a special site on this channel. I don't think y'all have quite gotten the chance to see this on a video before, but with the Main Street cleaner there, Main Street Dry Cleaners, we are officially crossing in to historic Cartersville. Now, if you happen to be in this neck of the woods and, hey, I listen to this dumb dude yell about shit all the time, where can I learn more about this Georgia place? Well, let me make sure I get it in sight. That would be a great place to start. I did not know they were there until like 2-3 months ago, and I still haven't had a chance to stop in yet. So if you get a chance to stop in, say hi for me. But that's a good place. They take care of the history as best they can. They try to plant native whenever they can and wherever they can. And I believe they are the ones helping to spearhead the campaign to make the Etowah Indian Mounds an official national park. Which, if they achieve that, would be really awesome. I don't think they will, only because, oh look, a jackass. I don't think they will because, you know, if they do all that, all those rich Ponzi assholes will have to pay a lot more for their houses because the national park raises the overall price of the land. And so I don't think they'll let it happen. If they did, it'd be really cool. But yeah, y'all, we're officially heading into Cottersville proper now. And now without the headset in, you would definitely not be able to hear me at all, because the sound of the crickets and the birds will now vanish and be replaced by the roar of continuous engines and of refuse. We're entering into the devil's lair now, friends. Move quick and stay nowhere for long. But I hear what you're asking. Where did the hideously ugly and deformed in Georgia go when they have shit tons of money and not a lot of sense? They don't increase their brain power, friends. They go to a cosmetic surgery center right here in backwoods Cottersville, so you can get your nose job done at a fine, fine price. I shouldn't be mean to them. They're new and I've never spoken to them because I'm not vain. But I do feel like I could read whole end of time ads, right? I could be the voice on a dystopian end of world radio, couldn't I? I never shut the fuck up. Ask David, I never shut the fuck up until I pass out. It's a byproduct of being unmedicated and all sorts of fucked up mentally. At least now with y'all good people in my face and in my pocket. Oh good, you're flipped around properly this time. At least with you good fine people, I'm a little less insane looking. Now I'm just insufferable. And that's an... Nah. See, here's where it gets tricky to deciding if someone's rich or not. Because most of these people are just city work. Most of them aren't tourists, at least from what I can tell. But yeah, living around these parts here, oh buddy, this is the most expensive property you got around these parts. But it's because, well, that's something. But it's because everything through here is historic. Do not harass anyone. If you see anyone, we're moving through the exhibits, folks. We're moving through the exhibits. I am here to give you a guided tour. Do not interfere with the people here. Do not tap on the tanks. Do not feed the animals. And we move on. As I said, these are very lovely houses, but I can only imagine that even with such small residencies, they probably cost an arm and a leg, because historic does charge a good arm and a leg to live on it. The upside, most of these plants are native Georgia plants that are growing through here, with little exceptions being where the gardener screwed up. You'll still see the crab hasn't taken over because they don't allow it. It's amazing how that works, isn't it, folks? And again, I hate HOAs. I'm not going to ever defend the HOA. But when you make it not possible to grow the crabgrass and the invasive, it makes it to where they can't move in. Also, they're moving little houses on top of little houses up here. As I said, how do you fix nepotism in this kind of way? That's simple, friends. I would make it to where if you own the house, you have to live in the house. That's it. That's the only stipend. Well, what if I wanted to give my kid my house? Fine, give it to the kid. They sign it, they do the paperwork, they do it from there. There you go, it's their house now. Oh, you mean how do you maintain power over the property? That's the thing, you don't. As easily as money, as easily as water. It's when we dam it up and hoard it that we start having problems. Because again, it's like with our fappy fascist dictator. If it were just going to be 4 years, I would take the contrapoint stance and just say, hey, y'all, buckle up, brace your anuses. We're going to get fucked, but it'll be over soon. Here's the problem. When you got one side that only plays by the rules, and I mean hardline only plays by the rules, all they want to do is win. Well, again, that's... y'all shouldn't have to have my ass tell you how that story's going to end. Standing water. Mosquito nests. Floating eggs. But that's simple. It's because the city hasn't been maintained. Even in this, our most illustrious historical district, there's still hostile architecture against the basic bitch pedestrian. But I want you to picture again your grandma, your little stupid kid that's trying to go, let's be nice and say, from that gigantic mansion all the way to the library, because that's where we're going first. Well, you get some, take your morning medicine and take care. It is now currently 9 o'clock and 11 minutes of the clock. Meaning, Chef has probably not arrived at the office yet, if I'm honest. Shit, I gave away his name. Oh well. That's not his marquee name, so I'm gonna say it's fine. But yeah. Isn't that lovely? I wonder who can afford what used to mansion from the looks of it. But now, 'tis just on the rocks. Any Beverly Hillbillies out there, perhaps? Any one of y'all out in the still up by your bootstraps? It's good. Welcome back, y'all. I lost. We're here. We're at the turn. The light on the other end of this very, very safe to walk down road. Do you trust me when I say it's a very safe to walk down road? Because it used to be. Now I wouldn't do it only because it's early morning traffic, and most of my fellow Cartersvillians look at that 35-mile-an-hour speed limit as a suggestion. Newsflash, folks, not a suggestion, it's a limit. You're supposed to drive that speed limit. It would have been a lot funnier if y'all had seen 5 minutes ago where the big truck knocked my hat off because it was definitely going over 35. Oh look, it might happen again. Nope, that one was actually traveling the speed limit. It's sad how you can tell that shit by the fucking traffic too. But either way. Oh, fuck. That was over 100-year-old oak. I guess some rich asshole got tired of the shade it provided. So something that's outlived us, and well outlived our Confederation, is now dead. Don't you love the South, y'all? Land of the highly educated we got here. But yeah, this is the walk and we're almost there. It would have been a lot easier to take that short side road to get to the library, but as I said, being that we're in the early morning traffic time, when some of us are having to ration our water and others are getting to use it to water our poncy lawns, it's the early morning, so we're going to take the safer, I highly suggest taking it route to the library. And then if they're open, hot diggity damn, I'll take a few fun pictures inside, excluding any patrons in there. And I'll get to show y'all cool interior shots. If there's nobody in there and the librarians are cool with it, I'll do a very quiet, very timid live stream for a short bit. And then I'll let y'all go for about an hour or so while I take a breather, check my gallon of drink in the cooler, and I head on down to the next. Also, as a bonus point, I accidentally left my walking stick up here the last time I had to take this route. So fingers crossed, I might be getting my legendary Appalachian walking stick back. The reason I want it so bad, it's one of 2 sticks I took on the AT when I got to go and touch the AT. And I would very much like to have it back in my hand for one day, hopefully, before I die, that I get to hike the Appalachian Trail and bring it to you good folks as I hike it, much like this, but with much less rage, because out there I'll be amongst the good nature in the wilds and not amongst, people. Again, while I might seek for a brighter day for all of us, my fellow humans, I weep for the idiocy of most people around me. And yes, unfortunately, down historic streets, I know these houses were all trumped up when voting season came around. Now that I see the lack of their flags, I'm hopeful that they have learned how stupid they were. How profoundly, profoundly stupid they were to have voted for a fascist. But we all know there's no guarantee, because most people would never admit to their stupidity until it comes home to them. Some people, chickens, roosts, all that. That used to be a through road, and this used to be a four-way stop. Then they removed that through road over there. Ignore the good people driving. They removed that through road over there and turned this into a turn when you want to, hope that you make it. And this right here is a non-native invader that I kind of like. That's bamboo. Strong, sturdy, useful, pretty. So fucking invasive. Please don't plant bamboo. These people planted like one or two for the corner to make it look pretty. All this time later, now it kind of looks like they're running a Karate Kid style scene. Like if you ever want to shoot Karate Kid in Georgia, come give these people a talk. The bamboo is beautiful. Again, don't get me wrong. It is lovely, but it's invasive and it's going to invade quick. Much like the kudzu. Looks pretty until it grows. And now we're where I had one of my first actual, factual, real adult dates. Moore's Market. My God, they were overpriced at that time. That probably hadn't changed much. But their outdoor seating has gotten nicer. They were plastic chairs the last time I came through. Nothing much else seems to have changed interior-wise, all that. It seems like a fairly lovely place. Seems to be, at least. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't typically get to this side of town because it is so far out of my way. We're going on 2 miles and 14 minutes. 2 miles, good God. 2 hours and 14 minutes. Just a hiking. Now, we will pass by the teeny tiny local playground, and I'm not gonna show but a glance of it because it looks like there's someone there. And if there's someone there, we're not gonna look at it for y'all just because, no offense, but I don't like to take pictures of kids because they need to be given their time to be innocent and free before they all get yoked to the plow like the rest of us. So give me just a second, and if I can, I'll show you the lovely park. But like I said, if the car parked there is the people in the park, we're gonna go ahead and leave it alone. And I'll just video shot the sidewalk and such. Because again, you can tell it's a local park. How can you tell? Can you tell where the parking is for the park? They put the park in when they took out a house. And again, I love the fact that we've got, there's actually people there. So we're gonna focus on me and not the park for now. Perhaps later we'll do a park shot, but people deserve their privacy. As I was saying, they put the park in and it's a lovely park. It's a simple playground, a very nice little picnic area. Giving a second for the box truck to pass. We walk around the vehicle because they did not put a parking lot in for this park. And it is the Rotary Park. From the Rotary Club of Etowah, Rotary Club of Bartow County, Rotary Club of Cartersville, City of Cartersville. And I guess we can show this without interrupting nobody's privacy. The Rotary Park insignia. Like I said, it's a lovely park. It's got a little bitty playground set up on it, several sitting spots, and a tiny little library, meaning the itty bitty little fold out library. These are places you can go if you owe money to the current library, but still would like to read something that's actually readable. I'm literate. This is also one of the few places, it's not much better than tap water, but you can get water from the city via the spigots. Again, many of the unhoused in Georgia will make at least one trip here a day, if not more, to acquire water. Because again, it's a very small luxury and not everyone gets it. But if you know, you know, and you can hopefully get. Now we come to the street. Nice little four-way stop where we will be departing soon. And the end of one sidewalk, but we're going to be crossing over to the other in just a moment. Just as soon as these folks go through. Trying not to show you nobody, trying to give people their privacy. Thank you. Oh yeah, and we are almost there. Once again, if I had taken the other route through the back way, it would have been a lot quicker, but it would have been 2 large hills through very close housing apartments and a lot of people be speeding through there because they're rushing to get to work. This way was much safer, even if I'm literally going to have to do a Z to get to where I'm going. But let's see if they're open, and I can show you the interior of the library as well, because it is one of the few things about this place I am genuinely proud of. I've been coming to this library since it was just a tiny metal building on the hill facing catty-cornered to the rest of the place. They tore it completely down to its boards and then rebuilt it. And they built it back better. Dug in a basement floor, which is where they have the more historically relevant books, the ones you can't check out but you can look at. No, sorry, they've got those on the upper floor. On the lower floor, they have the computer labs. They have a little area to do puzzles if you want to. They've got a variety of books, and there it is. Over there is the Farm Bureau. There are people that I'm eventually probably going to talk to about finding wild seeds from the area and the plains populations, and if they might have some they want me to distribute as I walk. We'll walk by their building a little closer, because I got to loop over that way to go to Chef's anyway. Whoo-wee. Again, y'all been running for 2 hours, 24 minutes. If you've been watching, I hope you've gotten some kind of entertainment out of it. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe, because I'm paid for by viewers like you. And as of right now, thank you, but I'm not paid yet. Doing this for the love of the game and the love of the town. But this is our actual, factual Cartersville Public Library via the outside. That is the children's section there, and that used to be the front of the building. In fact, where you see right there in front of or behind the flag to the corner was how big the entire library was once upon a time. Now, well, y'all, we made it now. It's pretty now. And I would say maybe not as big as the Atlanta Library, maybe not as fancy, but of all the bullshit in Cartersville and all the horrible shit you got to deal with living here, this is one of the few nice things about this shithole town. And that is the library. But before we check out the library, let's see if my walking stick's still here, because that'd be super cool. And I'd be even more shocked and astounded and happy if the cork cane is still attached. But I'll be surprised if it's still here at all, considering, you know. I mean, this is Cartersville after all we talking about. And yeah, sadly, they full-blown open, so I'll come back through in a little while, take a few candid shots inside. That way I'm not photographing any patrons and whatnot. And I'll show you what our lovely library looks like on the inside. Because my God, I would like to point out again, I am proud of this library, y'all. It's a touch of the old, but modernized. They got a lovely canopy, 2 to 3 book returns. This is the community hub of sorts. And they do have a variety of deliveries. But before we do that, let's see if my stick is still here. Because it's been a couple weeks and I doubt it, but maybe. I had to take this walk last time, and coming back, my hands were a little full, so I stashed my walking stick with the promise that I would come back. And it looks like the caretakers have been through, so probably not here. But let's see, just in case, if maybe. Aw. Ah, well. It was worth a shot, right, folks? I hope if someone got it, they at least put it to use and didn't just throw it away. Because it was a good walking stick, y'all. And I still have the other of the pair. I'm just going to miss that one because it was the one I carried with me mostly. It was my right one. Either way, that's our library. I'll show you a few of the cute statues we got. And then I'll be letting you go for now, because after I use the bathroom and rehydrate, I gotta head to the lawyer's office, and we'll circle back for a few fun candid shots and see if I can find a book on ecology, and then we will complete our walk home. Like I said, y'all, legit, no jokes, no sarcasm. This is the good thing here in Cartersville. This is the thing that kept a young hiking hound artist ground alive in the hickadoodle shitty ass South that I was brought up in. This bastion of learning is the one greatest thing about Cartersville that I will never say anything bad about. Because y'all, they grew up slow and they grew up right. And like I said, we're not going inside because a bunch of patrons in there and I don't want to harass people. We're not going to be one of those streamers. But I mean, look at it, y'all. From nothing to this. Oh yeah, it's sad they got to put don't touch on a bunch of stuff. But yeah, don't touch the artwork, y'all. It's beautiful artwork though, ain't it? Benches for actually sitting. It's a lovely place. And if you ever get the chance to come to Cartersville, I would highly, highly recommend, even if you can't check out from the library, coming by to see our library, because it also has a lot of events going on. Much like these upcoming events. Y'all can pause the video and take a read if you like, if you're watching from the future. I will probably be attending none of them, sadly, because I'm always busy at work. But if you happen to be in Cartersville and want something to do for mostly free, public events are always a good place. And remember, building community starts with you and me here in the community. But either way, y'all, I thank you very much for walking. Oh, one other thing. If you're like me and you don't particularly like the people side, but you still want to be a people person and get things from the library, they also have the library lockers. It's a lovely place. You can go and pick up a book without having to deal with people at all. But either way, y'all be good, stay strong. Remember, community comes first, and we can ride out anything, y'all, together, relying on each other. Many together strong, and alone we are easily defeated. Stay strong, stay hydrated, and we'll see y'all in about an hour for the live stream walking home, and a few candid shots of the inside once I can get good angles that aren't taking pictures of people. Because again, it's fun to film, and I love showing y'all all this stuff, but it's very, very important y'all remember. Real people out here. Don't harass them, don't bother them. They're living their best life they can through this too. We all got to work together, folks. Love you. Be good. Stay hydrated. I'm going to take a quickie here, take a quick minute to catch my breath, rehydrate, go to the bathroom, and then we're going to head to the lawyer, and then I'll pick back up from here again for the walk home. It'll only add a couple feet to go to the lawyer. I'll do the math and tell you all about it in a bit. Holy came to themselves. Y'all be good. I'm going to head on inside, and we'll pick up filming again here in about an hour or two. Love y'all. See you later. Be safe. Stay hydrated. I'm going to stick my nasty thumb in your face for a minute. There we go. Bye, y'all. And can I be in?